festive holiday cookies. And today I'm going to make what they're called peanut butter blossom cookies. And the recipe is actually on the back of this bag. So my mom loves Kisses. And every year, like I said, we buy my mom See's candy. And this year she's requesting Kisses. And she has Kisses all the time. So I have some festive Christmas ones. And this recipe has been around since 1957, this peanut butter blossom cookie. It's been around for many years, and they used to be called Black-Eyed Susans, these cookies, and they're popular. People like to make them any time of the year, but Christmas is a really fun time to make them. So you can freeze these, and I plan to do that because I'm making quite a bit of different goodies. And obviously I'm not going to be able to eat them all myself. My son's on a carnivore diet. And there's a low-fat person here too on a special diet. So these are super easy to make. They're super delicious. And they can be frozen before the holidays. So I'm going to show you how to make these. These are all the ingredients you're going to need. And I would like to make a correction that the recipe is not on the back of the Kisses bag. It just has the name Peanut Butter Blossom. And it just says to make your peanut butter cookies and then you stick the Kisses on them. So it doesn't give you the recipe, but I'm going to give it to you here. So you're going to need 1/2 a cup or 1 stick of butter. You're going to need 3/4 a cup of creamy peanut butter and 1/2 a cup of both brown sugar packed and white sugar. And I have them both in that container. And you're going to need 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda that's in the 1.5 cups of flour. And that's your ingredients that you're going to use. So first we're going to mix together the butter and sugars, and then we're going to combine the flour and baking soda and salt. Our first step is to either grease lightly a pan or have a parchment paper put in one, and preheat your oven to 375 degrees. I have a gas oven that heats really high, so mine's at 350. Just depends on your oven. Now what you're going to want to do is add your butters, which is 1/2 cup, 1 stick, and your peanut butter and your sugars, your brown sugar and white sugar that are both in here, and your peanut butter. Mine is a creamy peanut butter, and so that's what you want. You want it to be creamy. So what I'm going to do is go to the mixer and mix all of this together till it's really... You're going to want to mix this all together now. This time I used a peanut butter that I bought at Costco that has no sugar in it. So I added about 2 tablespoons more of sugar. But if you're using your basic creamy peanut butter, then you don't have to do that. And usually I do buy regular peanut butter. This time I didn't. So now we're going to gradually add our flour after it's mixed about like this and just combine. Add your salt and baking soda also. And combine mix until just combined. You don't want to overmix this. So here's our cookie dough. Looks really good. And there are no eggs in this recipe. You do not use eggs, which is kind of a nice switch for cookies, because most cookies you do use eggs. So now what we're going to do is roll these in like little balls. Like I would say about maybe a round walnut size like this, or you could use a cookie scooper, and this is about a tablespoon. And what you're going to do is just roll them. This one's a little bigger. You just decide if you want, this size, or I made one that's a little smaller. So we're going to roll all of these until we're done with all the dough, and then I'll show you the next. Here are some of I just filled the pan. You can put them anywhere from 1 to 2 inches apart. But what I always do is I roll them in sugar, like this. And for the holidays, it's really nice if you could put this in like a red or green So I have two different bowls here, and I'm going to just show you how, if you want to do colored sugar, you just add a couple of drops, 2 or 3 or 4, of whatever color you're doing. And you can add your red and green. And we'll just mix this all up, and I'll show you how. Alrighty, when you first start mixing it, it clumps together with the sugar, but once you press it down and stir it more, it all comes together. So we'll try one in the green. See how pretty that is? So if you want, you could do this in red and green for the holiday. It kind of gives it more of a festive look. Or you can just do it in a regular white sugar, but I'm showing you how I do it, where you don't have to purchase any of this colored sugar. You can just make your own. So there's a green one, and here's our red one. There you go. So what we're going to do is finish rolling all of these little peanut butter balls. And then after we put these in the oven, these will bake anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. You're going to unwrap your kisses. That's what we'll do once we put these in the oven. Or you could do it before. Here's our first batch. I'm going to put them in the oven now, and I'm going to start with 8 minutes, and you'll know they're ready when they kind of spread out a little, and they will crack a little. That's normal. That's part of the cookie. So I did make a little more green this time, so I'll make red for the next batch. So we're going to put them in for about 8 minutes at 375 if you have an electric stove, or if it heats high, and 350 if, or the other way around. 350 if you have a high heating oven. Okay, what we're going to do right now while our cookies are baking is just unwrap these kisses. You could have done it earlier. I'm just doing it now while they're in the oven. They're real easy to unwrap, because you will need these unwrapped as soon as they come out of the oven, because I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. So we're just going to unwrap. Okay, they're hot out of the oven. These bake 10 minutes, and I did mine at 350 because I have a very hot gas oven. So now what we're going to do is you're going to take your kissies, and while these cookies are still hot, and you can see how they cracked, that's what they're supposed to do. You push down like that. And the cracking around it is totally the way they're supposed to be. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, we'll give these a try. I baked these a little longer, and I went and put them in at 375 just because I think these cookies need a higher temperature. Even if you have a oven that heats high, they do need to be a little hotter. Okay, now the rolling them in sugar is totally optional, and I'm going to do my second batch. I'm not going to roll them in sugar. Now, to be completely transparent, I used a peanut butter that wasn't your traditional peanut butter. And what I mean by that is the store-bought that I normally get has sugar, and it's creamy peanut butter, but this particular peanut butter I used had no sugar. I mean, so I added a little extra, like I said, to use, but somehow the dough was great until I baked it at a lower temp, which is what I normally do in my oven. But in this case, stick with 375, and I am going to cook these, bake these with no sugar rolled in them. I'm going to do it for 375 at 10 minutes. So here's our last batch. I put no sugar on the outside. I did not roll them. And I did bake them at 375 for 10 minutes. So now we're going to put, and this is how it's supposed to be. This crack and the way they're going in, that's exactly how they're supposed to be. They are this type of cookie that They just are supposed to be cracked around the edges. So you just press them in. And this is the cookie where it's more transparent. You can see it's done. You can see the top. So this is a plain peanut butter blossom cookie with no sugar on the outside. Just take it and you push it down just like that, and it melts. The chocolate kind of melts right in to the cookie. Just push it down just like that. And they're really a pretty cookie. That's why they're called blossoms, because they kind of spread out. Hey everyone, they are beautiful. They turned out soft, softer than I wanted on the first batch, and I know it's because of the peanut butter I used. Use regular store-bought creamy peanut butter. When I first started making these, it didn't dawn on me that this was a natural peanut butter with no sugar, so I did add a little more sugar, but I should have baked them at a little higher like I did this, and I did put those back in. So this is how they should be. You don't have to add sugar, you don't have to roll the balls in sugar, you can just have them plain like these. So I'm going to give one a try. Really good. Like I said, these are a little softer than if I hadn't used that peanut butter, if I used regular creamy peanut butter. So I'm going to advise you not to use anything except for the store-bought classic peanut butter that comes with sugar in it. Just use that. Don't use one of those natural peanut butters. And put it at 375, because these second batch, I baked them at 375 for 10 minutes, and that was just right. So I hope you give these a try. They're really delicious. Thank you so much for watching.